Queen Elizabeth II has been on more banknotes from more countries than any other person in history. Her portrait has graced the front of more than 100 banknotes from more than 20 countries and overseas territories. She may not have been the first English royal to be on a banknote, but she was the first royal to appear on a UK banknote. Elizabeth Alexandra Mary Windsor was born in London on April 21, 1926, to the Duke and Duchess of York. Her father became King George VI, and her mother took the name Queen Elizabeth after her uncle, King Edward VIII, abdicated the throne in 1936. Once her father became king, young Elizabeth became first in line for the throne. Princess Elizabeth became Queen Elizabeth in 1952 upon the death of her father, King George VI. Even before her ascension, Queen Elizabeth II was already being featured on banknotes. Her first known banknote appearance occurred at the young age of 8 on the 11th of March, 1935, with the first Canadian dollar series. The portrait was taken by the official royal photographer, Marcus Adams. The very first banknote to feature her likeness after her ascension to the throne was the third Canadian dollar series on the 9th of September, 1954, featuring the controversial portrait referred to as the Devil's Head series, due to the image of a devil in her hair. Even more interesting is that this portrait for this banknote was created in 1951 by Yusuf Karsh before she became queen, and it was altered to remove her Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara that was first featured on a stamp. The first time we see the queen with one of her crowns is on the Hong Kong dollar of 1952. These banknotes were first created following the Japanese surrender of World War II under the command of Admiral Cecil Harcourt of the British Military Administration, and had King George VI on them. The photograph of Queen Elizabeth II was taken by Dorothy Wilding and is the most frequently used image on banknotes. In this image, Queen Elizabeth II is seen wearing King George IV's state diadem crown from 1820 that contains 1,333 diamonds. Pietro Annigoni's famous oil painting, The Queen Regent from 1955, is featured on many different banknotes, from Fiji to Trinidad and Tobago. Here we have a prime example of a rare replacement note in the Fijian $20 banknote signed by D.J. Barnes and I.A. Clark. In 1964, a more mature Queen Elizabeth II is seen on the Australian banknote taken from a picture by Douglas Glass. She is seen wearing the robes of the Most Noble Order of the Garter and Queen Victoria's golden jubilee necklace under the robes. The Most Noble Order of the Garter was founded in 1348 by King Edward III as an order of chivalry, with St. George as its patron saint. The order has exclusive membership of no more than 24 living members at a time. The Queen can also be seen wearing Queen Alexandra from Denmark's cluster earrings. They were given as a wedding gift from King Edward VII to Queen Alexandra. The portrait from Anthony Buckley from 1966 is used in the banknotes for Isle of Man, St. Helena, and Fiji. Queen Elizabeth II is seen wearing Queen Victoria's collet necklace, earrings from the Timur, ruby necklace, and a sash from the two royal family orders of King George IV and King George V. In 1977, Her Royal Majesty Queen Elizabeth II celebrated 25 years at the throne with her silver jubilee, and it was captured in a photograph by Peter Grushin. This image was used on many banknotes, depicted here on the East Caribbean $5 banknote and the Falkland Island £5 banknote. The Queen is seen wearing the Grand Duchess Vladimir's tiara, which was smuggled out of Russia during the Russian Revolution by British secret agent Albert Stopford. She is also seen wearing Queen Victoria's golden jubilee necklace. Now we move on to one of the most unusual banknotes featuring Queen Elizabeth II on this Canadian banknote. It was created in 1986 as a part of the Birds of Canada series and features a photograph taken once again by Anthony Buckley. What makes this banknote unusual and unique is that the Queen is depicted very casually, with a modest dress and pearls given to her by her father, King George VI. As we progress down the life of Queen Elizabeth II through banknotes, we see a more mature queen with each image. In 1992, photographer Terry O'Neill took the image of the Queen in the banknotes of Guernsey and the Bahamas, seen here. She is wearing the Burmese ruby tiara that she authorized to be created in 1973 with rubies given to her by the Burmese people of what is now Myanmar. In the early 1990s, Australia made a decision to convert its banknotes from paper to polymer. In some ways, the change was driven by the hot and humid conditions in the South Pacific, but it was also an attempt to create a closer economic collaboration amongst its neighbors. The first polymer banknote from Australia was a commemorative one from 1992, featuring an Aboriginal man. The second, a new $5 banknote put into circulation in 1996, showing Queen Elizabeth II. The Queen has also been shown on small denomination and high denomination banknotes. Jersey and Gibraltar have issued 100-pound banknotes. While they are rarely used, they represent the highest denomination banknotes in circulation that exist. On the complete opposite end, Hong Kong produced 1-cent banknotes in 1953 and then again in the 1960s. Not only are they low in denomination, but they are also physically very small. On these banknotes from Jersey Series 2010 and the Cayman Islands are portraits taken at the Sandringham House by Mark Lawrence in 1999. They feature a more mature Queen Elizabeth II. Once again, she is wearing the Grand Duchess Vladimir's tiara with 15 pearl drops. On May 23, 2012, the Royal Bank of Scotland created the commemorative 10-pound banknote with 4 different pictures to surmise her life and commemorate her Diamond Jubilee. The main image, on the far left, was taken at the Epsom Racecourse in 2008. The second image was taken in the 1940s by Dorothy Wilding. The third image was taken at the Balmoral Castle, and the last image was taken at a traditional service. One thing that is unusual is that the same portrait of the Queen has been used on Bank of England currency since the 1990s. While she has aged on other banknotes, she remains the same age in England. Many countries have replaced the Queen with local leaders, local flora and fauna, or other images that show off the country's culture, as seen here on Fijian banknotes. But many still keep Her Majesty on their banknotes, even if it's just one denomination, such as Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. No matter what the future holds for the Queen, she will continue to be immortalized, not just through her actions, but through her banknotes.